and talk to you a little bit about what's going on in baseball and life and everything. So today is, of course, November the 20. What we got? No, we're November 13th. Man, I'm trying to get to Thanksgiving quicker than I think. So, so I just want to come on here tonight and talk to you about a few things. Of course, if you've never joined me before, I'm coming to you live. My lives are about this day in African American baseball history. And so, of course, today being November 13th, 2025, I'm going to give you some historic facts that are related to African Americans in baseball. And they don't have to be necessarily playing baseball. As a matter of fact, I have somebody tonight, you probably heard of his name, but he ran an 80-yard touchdown on this day back in 1947. So is it 47? I think it's 47. Yeah, yeah, 47. But I think no, that's got to be another date. I'm gonna have to look that one up and make sure. I think I got the wrong date on that one because I don't think that he was still playing football. So I want to say that, matter of fact, that was 1937. I'm gonna look that up just to be sure, but I'm sure it was 37, not 47. And when you do a lot of history, one thing about it, you can almost identify by other things when some of these dates were. All right. So anyway, I'm going to correct that, and I just did to make it 1937. So we're going to go and take a few facts, some things that happened on this date. And then what I do is give you something that happened, and then I turn around and give you a commentary that comes from my many years of sitting with this history. It could be about the place that this took occurred. This could have been about the people. It could be about all kinds of things. So anyway, let me just jump right in here, okay? So we're going to start with November 13th, 1904. And I've talked about him a lot lately because he played football and baseball. His name is Halley Harding. So Halley Harding, an infielder for the Kansas City Monarchs, Chicago American Giants, and a few other teams, is born in Wichita, Kansas. I'm having a problem with my computer here going off and on. And my light is connected to my computer. So I'm gonna have to figure some kind of way to keep this on. All right. So anyway, Halley Harding. So in case you don't know who Halley Harding is, this guy was a tremendous athlete, tremendous college football player. As a matter of fact, when I first started doing research on him, he had been at Wilberforce, he had been at Wiley College, and I think he started in Galesburg, Illinois, at another college. And so they called him a football tramp because you could move around from college to college, kind of like they do right now, except sometimes you weren't even enrolled in the college, or you can enroll for a few courses or whatever. Then you'd be on the football team. Interesting thing, some of these guys who played at HBCUs, they would play 4 years at HBCU, then maybe they might go to like one of these predominantly white colleges, and they could play another 4 years there. And so they could get 8 years. Can you imagine that? 8 years of college football? Almost like a profession, but it wasn't a profession, but you got a lot of perks from playing with predominantly black and predominantly white colleges. So Halley Harding was Harding was one of those guys. Okay, if you've never heard of him, you want to check him out. All right, now he was born in Wichita, Kansas. So what do we know about Wichita, Kansas? I present there all the time. As far as baseball goes, there's the Wichita Monrovians, and the Wichita Monrovians, you can go look that up. They're the Monrovians. 1925, they had a famous game that they always talk about in Wichita, where they played the Ku Klux Klan and beat them in Wichita. And Monrovians were an all African American team. And Nelson Dean played for the Monrovians at one time. T.J. Young played for the Monrovians. Now, there is some misinformation out there. They say Newt Joseph played for the Monrovians, but it was not Newt Joseph. It was his brother, Wilson Joseph, that played for the Monrovians. So there's a lot of misinformation out there that comes back and forth. And so you just got to make sure that you're listening to the right people. And I did talk to a New Joseph's sister, and so I know the family. I know the state for Gilkerson Union Giants, and then I talked to Maurice Doolittle Young, and they confirmed that. And a few other people, Chet Brewer confirmed it, And so yeah, Wilson was the one who played for the Monrovians, not Newt Joseph, who later played for the Kansas City Monarchs. Wilson actually played in the Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana League with Quincy Gilmore. I forget which team he played for in Oklahoma, but he did not play with the Kansas City Monarchs. Okay, so that is part of that history. Also from Wichita, Hattie McDaniels comes from Wichita. And then there's another person. She was actually George Sweat, George Sweat's wife's cousin, and her name was Martha Davis. And so if you go on YouTube and you put it, and you see Martha Davis and spouse, you'll see that she's out there is this big entertainer, and she appeared on a lot of shows in the early '60s, the late '50s, until she passed away suddenly from cancer. And George Sweat, he talks about this in his unpublished biography, that him and his wife would babysit her kids when she would go out on the road. But her act was Martha Davis and spouse. Her husband was a bass player and played the double bass, and she played the piano. Excellent piano player. You've got to go out there and listen to her. If you've never heard of Martha Davis and spouse, some beautiful film is out there on her. But she was actually born in Wichita, Kansas. And I think about a few other people. I may think of someone else. I've gone to Wichita many times to present there. And of course, Bob Boyd and Bob Thurman both passed away there. And of course, T.J. Young stayed there, who played for the Kansas City Monarchs, started in '25. He stayed there and with his wife for a number of years. So great history in Wichita. It's a wonderful city to go to. And they had a new library that opened up right before the pandemic, I think in 2019. Beautiful library. I presented there. The first year was open, and would love to go back and present there again. Had like 3 big screens behind you. It was amazing. So anyway, guys, I am having all kind of problems with keeping my computer on. So just bear with me, and we'll get this done. All right. Okay. So let's go to another one. November 13th. Now we're going to jump around. So let's go November 13th, 1926. Raleigh Biz Mackey's home run with Turkey Stearns on base beat the All-Stars 2-1 at Los Angeles White Sox Park. Major leaguer Willie Ludoff was the losing pitcher. Boy, Ludoff, interesting guy. Ludoff was playing up in, I think it was with Sioux Falls in 1922, and he had a number of games he played against the All Nations in 1922 up in the Northwest. So they were familiar with Willie Ludoff. Now, Willie Ludoff goes on, and he's a big league player, a good pitcher, but on this day, he wasn't as good as Mackey. And actually, when they went out to California, I remember, I can't remember who told me this. I talked to a number of players who would go out and play winter ball out in Los Angeles, but there was one story they told me about Bill Bojangles Robinson came and said, hey, look, I'll give about $10 for every home run someone hits. And Turkey Stearns came out there and hit so many home runs that he rescinded his offer and said, you guys are trying to break me. And so he quit giving his money. Turkey Stearns hit so many home runs. He said he never counted his home runs. And so he didn't know how many he hit. He said, but the ones I did count, I only counted them if they won ball games. And that's quite a bit differently than how they count home runs and average today. You know, you can have a guy, and I remember some guys who, when I was working for the Royals, they would have 100 RBIs in a season, but they come at the end of the season when the team couldn't win the pennant. They were too far back, but they would get 100 RBIs, and it seemed like it was a great thing, but they weren't leading their team to victory. So it's just kind of interesting how Turkey Stearns just only wanted his home runs counted when they won ball games. I think that's kind of an interesting way to look at home runs. It almost looks like we got a strobe light going on today. All right, then we're going to go to this one. How about this? November 13th, 1937. Now, this is the one I corrected from earlier, okay? And it said, Jackie Robinson ran an 80-yard touchdown to help Pasadena Community College whip Chaffee Junior College of Rancho Cucamonga, California, 26-0 as 8,000 fans watched at the Rose Bowl. Wow. I've been to a game at the Rose Bowl. I had a nephew who played for Utah, and the last game they had was Utah. I think they played Penn State, and this is before they had the way that they do it now, which the Rose Bowl is for the tournament, so to speak. And so this was the old system they had, and he played for Utah, and he scored a touchdown that game. It was Jalen Dixon, the last one. So I had a chance to go there. 80,000 folks in that. Actually, I think it was more than that, because that stadium can hold up to 100,000 people. So, but he actually scored a touchdown. So it was nice to go to the Rose Bowl, first of all, and then have someone that you know, someone that's a relative, on top of that, score a touchdown in the Rose Bowl. Quite proud of that. But Jackie Robinson scored many touchdowns in the Rose Bowl with UCLA and also with Pasadena Community College. And if you know, when I opened this up, I said I had something from 1947. Well, I know Jackie Robinson wasn't playing football in 1947. I also know that he played for UCLA after Pasadena Community College. So I had to make sure that I go back and credit Pasadena, and then I knew it was 37. So using all these references that you have in your mind, and that allows you to keep your history straight. So Jackie Robinson, just can you imagine that guy going to the Rose Bowl and this guy running an 80-yard touchdown? Now we have retired his number, not me personally, but Major League Baseball has retired his number all over the league. All over the league. I'm still keeping my light going here. All over the league. However, maybe we ought to consider retiring this guy's number in football somewhere. I don't know if it's football. I don't know. I have to check out to see Pasadena Community College if they've retired it, or UCLA. Somebody check that and then let me know. All right. I don't have the answer for everything, but I'm always trying to find something. All right. All right. So here we go. Couple of things we're going to do. We did the Halley Harding because he was born on this day. Let's talk about one more person born on this date. John Buck O'Neill, the first African American coach in the National League, is born in Carabel, Florida. All right, you've heard of John Buck O'Neill. I knew him very well. I decorate his grave every year, and I've gone out there, and because he was in the Navy, I've actually played taps out there. Maybe I'll post a picture today. So I played taps for Buck. I knew Buck very well. Buck was one of the people, it was 5 of us, and I've told the story several times, who started the Negro League Baseball Museum. Now I hear people in town talking about it was Buck's Museum. It is not Buck's Museum. Buck was a player in that whole thing. But the other people, I guess you could say it was our museum too, because we had to work to put that idea together. And so sometimes I'm a little bit insulted when they just say it's Buck's Museum, because it's not Buck's Museum. This is a concept put together by a group of historians. And you probably know Larry Lester, Lloyd Johnson was the other one, myself. And between us 3, we probably have 30 books. And then there was Buck O'Neill, and there was another guy named Slick Surratt. And Slick Surratt, we are the 5 people who incorporated the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. So you can say it's all of our museum. That's what you can say. And at the particular time that we incorporated, we made Buck the chairman, because Buck was like the senior person. And in my case, I was the youngest person. Get my computer back on. I was the youngest person. And so if you look at the incorporation papers, you'll see Buck O'Neill's name, and right below, he's the oldest person, right below his name is the youngest person, and that was me. All of that was purposely done. And here I am still today, 45 years into this, deep. And Buck O'Neill used to always come to me and he would say, you're the reason and you're the person who started all this. And he always gave me great accolades. And these are accolades that I don't even get today. But those people who were there from the very beginning, we know the truth of the difficulties it took to bring this history forth and to get people to appreciate it, the hard work it took. And so people like myself have been in there a long time. Larry Lester's been in there a long time. Lloyd's been in there a long time. And Lloyd doesn't do as much now, but if you go, you can find books by Lloyd Johnson. Lloyd's a good writer. and he was serious about this topic. And I remember I was somewhere, someplace, and someone came to me and they said, "Hey," they said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Kansas City." They said, "Oh man, Kansas City's a great place to be because of all that baseball history that's down there." They didn't realize, hey, the reason that history is there is because people like me helped it to be here. But believe me, what was here for us coming along wasn't what's here now. And so when people come to Kansas City and they can celebrate all this history, just know that someone made it possible. And I'm happy to be one of those people who contributed to that. But I'm not the only one. I don't try to do that. What I try to do is tell you the truth. There's lots of people who contributed, but some of those people are alive right now and they're not getting the recognition that they should. Just want to say that. All right, so that's Buck O'Neil. And once again, Buck O'Neil, if I'm correct, he would be 114. Now, what's interesting is when I was born, my mother was 44, same age that Buck O'Neil was, because they're born in the same year. So every year that Buck gets a year older, my mother gets a year older. And so I'm able to remember how old she is based on all the publicity I see for Buck every year. So just want to say happy birthday to Halley Harding and Buck O'Neil. And once again, two people that were monumental in this history. I will also share one more thing with you. And I'll have this light fixed tomorrow, guys. So I appreciate you bearing with me tonight. Uh, there is a great dialogue that Halley Harding and Buck O'Neil had with each other. And Halley Harding had written an article that said that Negro League teams started playing games before they actually were in shape for spring training. And then he and Buck got into this little dispute in the newspaper. So if you ever see that article, that's interesting. I have it somewhere in my collection. So, but those are people that I can celebrate. Like once again, I knew Buck, never knew Halley Harding. I knew Turkey Stern's daughters, and they're still celebrating Turkey Stearns. And mentioned him today, Riley Biz Mackey. I think I've told you before that Riley Odoms, who played for the Denver Broncos, is kin to Mackey. And of course, a lot of us know about Jackie Robinson. His daughter was still around doing things with her books and things like that. So, but this is all great history, guys. So I want to thank you for joining me. I do want to say hello to a few people. Let me see what I can say here. Okay. I guess it's Jan Carlo says hello. Brian Flan, Flawn, can't read. That looks like it comes from some foreign country. There's another one, 313 Collectors, said, God bless you. God bless you too, brother. And someone said, Pan Girl, 1225 says, hello, thank you. And then it says, George Christoph, say, God bless you. Unk, you look great. Not a day over 35. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I don't have any money to give you. Hey, maybe I'll give you a free book somewhere down the line. And somebody said, dude, your username is crazy. Why not Jackie Robinson? Hey, I have one of the most unique usernames. It's at Negro League Man. At Negro League Man. And because what I'm talking about, let you know why I have at Negro League Man. And some people, I go places and they'll say, hey, aren't you at Negro League Man? And so they know me as that. I'm at Negro League Man on Twitter also. So guys, I just want to thank you for joining us. I used to try to get out here in 20 minutes. And but this light has just been going crazy tonight. And so it's been just bizarre. I feel like I'm in a discotheque. How about that? And I'm going to go down and practice my trumpet. So I'm really going to feel like in a discotheque down there. But it's always great to come on and talk about a few things. And tomorrow I'll have some great things. Let's see, what do I have tomorrow? I got a famous team owner passing away. I have some great things by Wilbur Rogan. And, I got some good stuff tomorrow. So, guys, you're going to have to come back. So if you like what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe. And, of course, my name is Phil S. Dixon. I'm an author, so you can go out and see my books, buy one, guys. And keep following me. I have award-winning books. I can't say this for sure, But I think that I have sold more books on the Negro Leagues than any man alive. And it's because I've been doing it longer and I've had more successful books. And I speak all the time and I sell a lot of books off the back table. So I know that I have big numbers, but I just don't have any way to prove that they're the top numbers. All right. So, but I want to thank you. And guys, once again, I tell people I don't have any sexy girls dancing in my background, and I don't have any, what we want to say, I'm not going to do anything funny, crazy to make you laugh. But if you like good sports, you like good sports history, you want to talk some sports, guys, you want to win a few arguments, come on here. This is a good place for you. So go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to, one of these days, I'm going to get to 1,000 subscribers. This is about my third or fourth month. I have a lot of work to do, but with your help, we'll get there. And one of these days, I'm going to do some really interesting things, and it should get more people. We're going to give away some books or something like that. I just had to figure out a way to do this, and maybe we'll do some trivia. We'll do something, but go ahead and sign on. And so this is Phil Dixon, and this is the end of this day in Black baseball history, and this is the November 13th, 2025 edition. Have a nice day. I'm out of here. Peace.